Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about a rumor that has been going around that hasn't been confirmed yet, but there's a lot of people that say that it's going on secretly behind the scenes, and that is that the Wachowski. I don't think I should call them brothers at this point, since they both transitioned into women, but the Wachowskis are both coming back to direct a Matrix 4. Now, this was rumored a while back. I don't know if the Wachowskis were necessarily attached to it at that point, but they stated that they were attempting to get a Matrix 4 and or a Matrix reboot off the ground, and that Michael B. Jordan was attached to be in it as the star. Now, there's a lot of questions here. They do go into a bit of detail in the article that I read, stating that it is going to be. There's going to be filming, I guess, in Chicago at some point this year, and they said that it's basically it's already in pre-production, and both the Wachowskis are attached. However, there's nothing to actually substantiate these claims. So again, take everything that you hear here with a grain of salt. But this would be fairly interesting if true. Um, there's pros and there's cons to this. I mean, the original Matrix came out in 2000, or I believe it was 2000, and it's a good movie. I like the original Matrix. The sequels are terrible, but I like the original. And I like Keanu Reeves in that role. I like all the other people that they got for it. Lawrence Fishburne is great in that. Um, I can't remember the actress off the top of my head that plays Trinity, but the actors in that first film did a really good job, and the Wachowskis did a good job of kind of building that world and introducing you into it. The problems kind of arose in the sequels for the most part, where they didn't really know where to take it, and the directing is off, and the story is very convoluted, and there's a lot of stuff that gets teased but doesn't really get built upon. Um, but now they're talking about this film either being either a full or a soft reboot. Now I think I went over this in a video I did before about a Transformers soft reboot, but a full reboot is essentially they're gutting everything. They're starting from scratch. A soft reboot is kind of they're starting from a new point in a new story, but it takes place in the same universe. So they're kind of just like cleaning the slate almost in a way, but there's still that other stuff still happened, but we're following this story now. So it's unclear exactly what they're going to be doing. Again, if this thing is actually in production, um, as far as I'm concerned, I think both would be bad ideas, especially when the Wachowskis are involved. Now, the Wachowskis do not have a great track record after the first Matrix film. You had the two sequels, which were not good. You had films like Jupiter Ascending, which was terrible. You had Cloud Atlas, which, even though not bad, did not receive very good reviews upon release, if I remember correctly. And they've had issues when it comes to filmmaking after that point. So I'm not entirely convinced that they can jump back into that Matrix world and kind of recapture what they had in the original film. Um, and I'd also have to see more people being cast, because I do like Michael B. Jordan. I think he's a good actor. I liked him in Black Panther, even though I think they could have done a much better job with his dialogue. I think that he did a very good job, at least in terms of his physical acting and what he was doing on screen. And some of his dialogue I thought was very good, even though some of it was very cringy. But he's done good jobs in other roles. Obviously, in the Creed films. I didn't. He was probably the only halfway decent part of the Fantastic Four Fox film that came out in 2015. But there's a lot of stuff going on there. And I don't necessarily know if the Wachowskis can come back and do something like that, like the first Matrix again, and kind of recapture people. At the same time, the Matrix sequels came out in 2003. That's only 16 years ago at this point. If the movie comes out next year, it'll be 17 years since the last Matrix film came out. As far as I'm concerned, that's a bit too early for a full a full reboot. And then on top of that, we have no idea if any of the other cast members from the older films are coming back. If this is going to be a soft reboot, I know a lot of them were killed off, but you still have Lawrence Fishburne, who you could possibly bring back as Morpheus. Keanu Reeves could possibly come back in digital form in the Matrix, if that's a thing. as well as Trinity, I guess, if that's the case. Although I think they'll probably keep that character dead. Um, and there's really no other confirmation that we're going to see any kind of returning characters, or if this is going to be set after the events of, I believe it's Matrix Revolutions is the last film in the original trilogy. Uh, but this is interesting, but it has me very cautious because, again, I'm not a fan of the Matrix sequels. I don't think the Wachowskis did a good job, and I think their filmmaking record is very spotty after a certain point. So I'd like to know what you think. Would you be excited to see a Matrix 4 or a Matrix reboot with Michael B. Jordan as the lead? Would that interest you, or would you just like to kind of have the franchise just stay where it is and stay buried for a while, maybe come back at another point down the road? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I like to read them. And remember to hit the bell for notifications, hit the like button, subscribe, and remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?